Hello.
Hello, everyone.
Hello, Internet.
Hello, Internet. Um, Welcome everybody back to another episode of Tim and I working on refactoring Contentlayer with the latest from Effect. I know we missed a week or two, but we're back. And yeah, I think that maybe we can recap where we are and what we're currently working on, what our to-dos are. I think, Tim, you might have done a little bit of work on this without me at some point or another. So yeah, maybe we could just like recap where we're currently at.
Yeah, I think last 2 weeks ago I streamed and I was integrating it into a project and like tweaking, got tracing set up. I was tweaking the worker pool settings to try and get the best performance, and stopped at that point. And today I would like to look at trying to improve the MDX pipeline, which doesn't use the remark stuff we were working on, but uses like this npm package called MDX bundler or something. But it isn't fast. It uses ESBuild as well. I'm just wondering if there's a better way of doing MDX.
Got it. All right, cool.
And I guess we can just check it's working. Packages. That's cool now.
And what are we building here?
This is just running the CLI to make sure it still works. But it's not doing anything. I think it's just spinning out the workers in a loop.
It does look that way, yes.
Document building.
Is it just failing?
Maybe. Hero. It's been time. I just add some logging to I guess effort platform node. Just I'm always not sure if it's using CollinJS or ASM. Internal worker .js.
Did we make any changes to this package?
Can't remember.
Hmm.
Maybe it's the wrong place. Platform.
What if we tap the error output of the layer? Would that work for the worker? Like if it's just failing?
It's in a loop somewhere. If it was in the layer, it would be a single exit.
We got it.
I probably need to look at RPC actually. Effect, RPC. I'll start with ESM, and it'll be RPC client console.log here. Worker. So if there's an error, it will likely be hitting this path.
Ooh.
Inner fine module. Imported from config builder. Yeah, there we go.
Should I wonder if there's a way to surface that error better from RPC? Because what is it? Just writing the error back out over the RPC?
It's just hitting a retry. I think it logs it at the debug level, but I could probably raise the level.
Yeah, I think it might be better at like the standard.
No, I know. Writing the response back to the clients is a defect.
So
Yeah, we could probably just do something like zip log warning.
because this will if
Course.
if the client receives a defect response, what is the behavior on the client? Like, does it by default do something with the defect, or you have to be like,
if there's like client requests in progress, then it'll just like send the defect into those requests. But this is an issue during boot up, so there's no requests at that point. So you could probably do something like, is it tracking the entries? Yes. I think so, maybe something like if entries size is 0, then log it.
Yeah, might be interesting.
Anyway, did that fix it? Yeah. Great.
Does Node, just because it's gonna annoy me if we keep doing this, does Node when we call it from the command line there where we pass the experimental strip types, can we disable warnings? Like, does it allow us to pass an environment parameter to do the like node no warnings thing?
Probably. Node disable experimental warning.
think we have to do it from the worker, right? Like the where we pass in the flag for
Right.
the experimental thingy.
Don't know.
Yes. Very good. I love it.
So clean.
It's so clean.
So fresh.
So fresh. I love it.
Okay. So now we can go update dependencies. Push. So I was trying it out on like an old version of the website where we were using Contentlayer previously.
Okay. Was it
Which
performing
is,
not so great?
it's kind of like on par with the previous version of Contentlayer.
I think the problem is that I'm fairly certain that the MDX like pipelines, like the whole unified CLI, and I could be wrong about this. We should probably check. But I think a lot of it is synchronous.
But technically we should be getting faster if we are parallelizing it. I'm not sure if the old version of Contentlayer was doing any worker stuff. It might have been.
It was not.
Okay. So it took a bit of work to get the pipeline to work. What's this? It's just I think I can go PM1. True.
True.
Let's do an update. Okay. Actually, I think everything is.
I don't think it's going to use any of the packages in here except for effect, right?
Perfect. Yeah.
And platform. Do we use platform?
So it is. Oh yeah, one thing I did solve in a previous stream was the peer dependency stuff. Because config, because we've got two kind of like islands. We've got the config island and then the CLI, and then the config land was like consuming the effect package, so we were getting runtime mismatches.
That's interesting. Okay. So you
Because
solved
this
it with
guy here requires a peer dependency on effect. Because
I
we've
see,
got
yeah.
stream and stuff.
Yeah. Got it.
But yeah, getting the old pipeline working took a bit of work because we don't have like a built-in MDX thing yet. What's going on? There's no DTS files. Why is that? npm build. But oh, that's right. I was running into some weird build issues that we need to fix. where I had to nuke node modules, run pnpm install, and then pnpm build each time. For some reason, build was side affecting something and then like messing up the node modules.
You still have to figure that out at some point.
Yeah.
Is there a TSCR?
It might be my path actually. Unset path.
That was good.
Where did everything go?
Where'd all my commands go? Well, that was good.
Node modules. Yeah, I get rid of that guy.
Just unset the path again. That's fine.
Export path equals that long. Ugh.
Beautiful.
So got a space in there.
You could, yeah, I was gonna say you could write it to a path and then, oh,
But it still adds spaces. So I try to join the lines about. Oh, about adding spaces.
I don't know if there is.
Yeah, and then get rid of the node modules path thing.
Shift Y was giving you I think there's still a space at the end there actually too. At the very
Yeah,
end,
it's
there's a
a single
carriage.
line. Export path equals. That was better.
Hey, that's nice. What sign module is built?
Let's have a look at the build script.
It shouldn't matter. These things should be in the bin. Like these should all have a bin entry registered in the node modules, which PNPM should pick up.
There's S. Yep.
So like
So
running a
we go
PNPM.
into packages core and then run it. Yep. And node modules dot bin es build. Modules dot bin es build. Huh.
Wait, you were running ESLint before, not ESBuild. Is that intentional?
No. Es build.
Interesting. Can you run another PNPM install? ignored build scripts, parcel watcher ES build. I wonder if we need to run the build script for
Maybe
it.
we just move the dev tooling stuff up to the top. Oops. Oh, JSON. So if we move TS up here. 70,000 here we need. No, it's just TS up in TypeScript. Yeah, find module ESP. What's going on?
Can you can you
And now it can't find TypeScript.
wonder if I have the same problem on my machine? Let me clone.
We could do something. Let's just run it again and see if it finds ES build. No. So now ES build is gone. Uh, hmm.
Sorry, I'm Duran installing. I
Maybe
nuked
it's
my
because we've got ES build and TypeScript and dependencies here. It's doing something weird. Yes. Yeah, let's just make sure this guy can still find.
Hmm. Sorry, I nuked my next door a while back, so I'm waiting for Duran to install everything.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, let's start again. The build. Okay. Build. Where's that TSC? No, OBS builder's gone again. What's going on? It's build. It's empty.
Sorry. Now I pulled the repository and now I'm rebuilding a new Durin.
Like PM, there's doing something strange. ES build itself is doing something weird. Up in ES build. Yeah, the link's gone. I don't know. ES build. Yeah, something's mutating node modules. And just cleaning out files. Who would do that?
Who would do that?
Google.
All right, done. So what am I running? I'm running a PNPM build.
Yeah, the first one should work, but the second one is failing for me.
All right, let me run an PNPM install, and then I'll run a PNPM build.
ES build disappearing from node modules.
Okay, PNPM build. First one should work, you said. The second one should fail.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Okay, first one succeeded. Second one also succeeded.
Okay. So something with my setup. Maybe it's my PNPM store.
I always get a little scared when I run an RM-RF against volumes.
Just deleting a black hole.
Deleting a black hole.
There we go.
The gravity associated with a PNPM store.
Yeah.
Super massive.
Got a clean script. Build. Build success. Build again. Okay. Build again. Okay, that was it.
Nice.
Weird. I'll just revert those changes. So we were in website. Look at content layer config. Still no DTS files in there. What's that?
When we were emitting them before, we were like we have a TypeScript step in there, right? That runs to emit the
Yeah,
DTS.
there it is.
You
There.
were you
Build DTS.
yeah.
Maybe it's
It's set to no
because
emit, or
of
is it
the TS build info is caching it. Yeah, that seems better. Okay. TS build
we could
config
could
build and
emit the
disable.
TS.
The
The other thing we could do is put the TS build info into the dist directory and remove it before we do any build. But or we could just shut off the, because we're going to rebuild the DTS every time, so that I feel like TS build info is not going to help us out very much.
How do you turn it off? Disable cache. Google. Disable TS build info.
I feel like half of our streams have been us just literally banging our head against configuration and build issues.
Yeah. Yeah,
Incremental
JavaScript
false.
packaging is in a horrible state. ESM, CommonJS.
Composite projects may not disable incremental compilation. Okay. Then we just have to add a step to remove the TS build info file every time we build, which is kind of annoying. There's also probably a better way to do this, but doesn't matter right now.
Come on. Nice. Content layer. Run. And if I run over file stack. Then we can see what it's doing. Alright, minus present. Okay, we're getting traces.
Nice. Are those old traces, or are you generating multiple traces for build? Oh, they're from the workers.
Yeah, one per worker.
Got it. Very nice.
Building.
Over 9,000, Tim.
It is. What's the scouter say about his power level? Here, so... Oh, 30 seconds. Coming up. So if you look at our work here, we can see it doing stuff. What are our pool settings again? Document builder. Concurrency of 15 per worker. Okay. And then the worker itself. It's concurrency unbounded. Wait. We're gonna add that concurrency that semaphore last time. Yeah, but we can see it's taking like 8 seconds per document.
Yeah, I just wonder if there's any more efficient like MDX stuff out there, or if this is just kind of like what it is.
MDX.
Yeah, the MDX Go implementation.
I just get rid of that semaphore. And see what happens. So we want to turn MDX into JavaScript components. Docs. Getting started. Bundler. JSX. We want to compile it. So I guess we need to do this. Maybe we can skip the bundler. Special part that turns MDX into JavaScript. It can also evaluate MDX code. I guess I could try this thing. So what is the output right now? If we go to Contentlayer, generated. We don't have any content there yet. So it looks like it outputs like a completely bundled component.
Yeah, I think that's what we want because
Does that mean it's not even importing React? No. So looks like removing that semaphore. That's not a good idea. React JSX runtime. Options.
So take me back to the configuration currently, and like what are we trying to do with the configs?
So currently I've got like a custom plugin inside the config that runs it through MDX bundler package, which is what the previous version of Contentlayer was doing with MDX code. And then it's got the exact same plugins.
Right.
So I'm wondering if we can swap this out with something more efficient. Because I think it currently is going through ES build every document. But if we can maybe use the MDX compiler directly, it might be faster. It looks like it's outputting. Looks like it's outputting like a module there. So I'm guessing the MDX bundler is taking this, sending it over to ES build, and generating like a self-invoking function. So if we exports, list, body, test. Sure. Something. Generated .js is what we want. And then if we make that common JS, This is why people still use CommonJS, I think. And now we can't use the import statements. First, beyond somebody. Okay. God. What's it, guides? File. Output format, that's what we want. Output format. Output format. Yeah. I guess we can just try that in here. Contentlayer. I'm pretty sure it was compile from here. No. It's compile. Which means promise.
As one does.
As one does. Now let's just try something basic. So we hit the content, compiled, promise, compile, content, output format, function body. What's complete email?
I think you have an uncommented. Yeah, at the very bottom there.
Yeah. Can I complain about fields? Content layer. Run. What do we get? File dot value. Again. My bed is frozen. Generated blog post. Yeah. So I've got a JS6 tree. What are you supposed to do? Run that.
Sorry, just helping somebody in Discord. What was
No
the
worries.
question?
This doesn't look like a. I think you have to do special treatment to run it. The code. Yeah. Are there any
Yeah, the
other
thing is,
output formats?
I don't know for sure, but I think the MDX bundler also resolves like imports and stuff like that.
Yeah. Okay.
I wonder if it's the MDX bundler that's slow or if it's one of the plugins. Can you try removing all of the plugins from the MDX bundler?
Well, we know Shiki 2 slash is slow.
Yeah, I'm fairly certain that it's definitely like a plugin, but let's see. Like I know that that Shiki is definitely slow, but some of these other ones also maybe. Just disable all of them.
We just no code best. For 1 second. Yeah, it's pretty fast.
Where we go from like 30 seconds to 1 second?
Yeah.
Also, the old version
Let's get
of
rid of
so the Shiki 2 slash, that's like a really old way to use it also. Like I think the
right.
remark plugins are still somewhat valid, but like we were using an old way of
Okay. I don't know much about 2 slash.
I know too much at this point about 2 slash. I know more than I ever wanted to about 2 slash.
4 seconds. So what's the new way of using it?
So hang on, let me go to the Shiki website. Shiki.
But we want
Shiki.
like that fancy thing that we're doing on the new website.
Yeah, but that is not easy to achieve. So hang on 1 second. Integrations, rehype. Okay, we're running it as a rehype plugin, right? Wait,
Remark.
no.
But we can do rehype as well.
Oh, this is just for Shiki. It's not for 2 slash. Darn it. Does
Shiki 2 slash MDX. Remark Shiki 2 slash?
so this is what we're currently using, I think.
2 years ago.
But so 2 slash is like entire API and everything changed, I think.
Okay.
The remark Shiki 2/ is what we were
This is
using.
what we're using. Yeah.
If you go to, the problem is like we need to.
So what is the recommended way?
So yeah, there's not like a specifically like recommended way, but the if you go to the Shiki.js website, not this one. There's like a new one. You'll just Google Shiki.js. Not this one. Oh no, it is this one. It's just in light mode. Sorry, I don't recognize it in light mode. In the integrations section, it shows like the different integrations, and I mean it has the 2/. So there's a difference between like Shiki.js, which is the syntax highlighting, and then 2/ with it, which is the TypeScript piece, right?
Great.
So this will give you syntax. I think we shouldn't concern ourselves with 2/ at this point. I think maybe we just get Shiki like syntax highlighting working. So I would try it with this and see if we have any performance increase with this.
Names. Okay.
It's good to know that the problem was indeed Shiki.
Contentlayer. Import rehype Shiki from there you go. And then over here we put it in rehype plugins. Rehype Shiki theme.
I don't remember.
Object.
Yeah.
Dark. GitHub dark. Light. GitHub light. Sure.
Hang on. I think that what is Remark Pretty doing?
So it don't get any slower.
Yeah, so 2/ is very slow. That's definitely like part of the issue is 2/ is just like really slow.
Right. Yeah.
Wait, why? The
Rehype pretty code.
What does rehype pretty code do again? Hang on. Rehype pretty code. You might not even need that. Rehype pretty code is
using rehype slug. That wasn't even really tricky.
Rehype will do the syntax highlighting, so we don't even need the extra Shiki plugin. Yeah, the rehype pretty code. No, rehype pretty code is fine. We don't need rehype Shiki because rehype pretty code will do syntax highlighting with Shiki.
Okay.
And it adds like other stuff. You can do like line numbers and word highlighting, etc., etc. So the only thing that we're not doing, so you can remove the rehype Shiki configuration from this because rehype pretty code will do it. I didn't realize we were running that, but yeah, you can remove that whole array block and uninstall rehype Shiki because we don't need it anymore. So,
but we do need 2/?
I mean, no matter what you do, 2/ is going to be slow because it's like fully synchronous on every code block that it runs on.
Okay.
Yeah.
So each document, he would have thought that a 2/ would get faster with workers. But it's interesting that it didn't.
I would have thought it would have gotten faster with parallelism as well. But you were running both this version and the old build? Like,
What do you mean?
like you ran like a build of the old website with the old like next setup and everything? Like the old content layer?
Yes. We can try that. We add 2/ back. Add these fields back. Remove build. There. So it's about 15 seconds. And then if I revert back to this guy, all the changes we made. Well, so we go back in time. And I was just testing on the blog posts if we remove docs page, the tutorial, content, blog, and in here, do that. The code argument must be of type number.
Interesting.
But if we ignore that, it built everything in.
Did it build everything or did it just error? Can you look at like one of the generated documents?
It's all there.
Let's look inside one of them.
Yeah. It's the raw.
Raw is just the full text content, but I don't see any MDX in here.
No, I do not see index.
I think it's failing as soon as it tries to generate the first MDX. Oh, wait.
Oh no, there it is.
Code.
Yeah, so it's building everything.
Interesting.
Is it? I don't. I guess ES build will be using all the CPU cores. I run this in code. And then debug terminal. And then run Contentlayer build. Yeah, it's only a single process. If I can see.
Right.
Yep. Yeah, so it's like the workers aren't necessarily helping, which doesn't make much sense.
Is there a way to see how much of the time we spend? Well, how much time do we spend in the workers?
Uh, those. Yeah, so remove content. Yeah. And then you run a build. Yeah.
I think, yeah. Still had some like lingering stuff.
Um, Building. Oh, it's waiting for the spans to come in. There we go. So there's the last build here.
That document
So
took 6
looks
seconds.
like there's like a 1.5 second delay between worker boot and the first item being processed. But then each item's taking quite a few seconds.
And is this processing, like we were only processing blog posts before, we're only processing blog posts now as well?
Yeah. 60 documents.
Yeah. Mm.
And also it's the main fridge.
Mm. Doesn't make any sense.
And it's for some reason in a worker environment it just goes slower.
We're loading the worker.
I remember trying like a single worker and it taking like over a minute. When I set the pool size to 1. So adding workers is helping in this case, but something else is making it slow.
I wonder if it has something to do with like the code we're loading into the worker or something.
Hmm.
Um,
So there's something to do with 2/ there. Email. Shiki 2/.
when we disable this, it takes a second to build everything, right? Like, or 2 seconds or something like that.
I feel it's 4 seconds.
I wish we had done a run with the other branch as well with this removed and seen how long it took. Um, because I wonder.
And I guess like, a lot of that time is just booting up workers.
Yeah, because if we look at the traces for that particular run, um,
Uh, yeah. You can
yeah, they're
see.
taking like no time at all to process these documents.
Well, 1 second is still a decent amount of time.
Yeah, but definitely like better than without 2 slash.
Everything. So get rid of 2 slash. Change that. Yeah, so we're past the. And when we disable 2 slash.
So I wonder if there's something about 2 slash. Like if I recall correctly, there's like some WASM thing or like what I forget what it is. Like with 2 slash, they load. Maybe that's Shiki I'm thinking of. Um, no, that's Shiki I'm thinking of. The Onigurumura like highlighting engine that they use, I think is Shiki, not 2 slash.
Okay.
Very strange.
Hmm. Open here, packages.
So what are we using now again for Shiki? We're using uh direct website. I know we're using the expressive code
Run
integration.
2 slash.
Integrations 2 slash. If you want to run 2 slash on browsers or workers, oh no, it's web workers. It would be interesting to like run the new version of Shiki 2 slash without remark, like just over the code in the worker as part of like the source plugin. And not like join it back into the result, but like just run it so we can see like maybe if the new version of Shiki 2 slash is faster. So if you go to the Shiki.js website again,
Yeah. Shiki.
yeah, that one. And then go to integrations, TypeScript 2 slash. So basically like that first thing there where it runs the not the transformer. Oh wait, actually yes. This package is a transformer and onto Shiki. This means that for every integration that supports Shiki, I wonder if instead of using the remark 2 slash integration, we can run it as a Shiki transformer through something that we're already. So if we go back to the main Contentlayer config here, does the MDX bundler support or does Rehype Pretty Code support Shiki transformers? Let me look. Rehype Pretty Code.
Transformers.
They do.
Why
They
can't we
do.
use if we go back to the Shiki, the official Shiki thingy?
Um,
Shiki. That one that we installed earlier.
we
Rehype?
still need to support whatever MDX bundler needs in its output, right? So let's see options. So MDX bundler is MDX JCS build. So it supports rehype and remark plugins, and that's it. So we need a way to like thread Shiki through.
So I'm guessing Rehype Shiki has a Transformers
The let's see.
property. Rehype Transform is inline. Rehype Shiki extra options. Okay.
Let's try doing
So
it
I need
through.
to install this guy.
Yeah.
Npm add development. That guy. And then import from Shiki 2 slash transformer 2 slash. So we go down here.
So there's an option for rehype pretty code that is called transformers, and you can just pass it in as a transformer. No, it would be like in the rehype pretty code options.
Oh, this
Yeah,
supports
here.
transformers.
Yes. Transformers. And then it's an array.
Right.
And you would pass in the transformer 2 slash. Right. And then we can remove the imports for the other things. Great.
Remove content layer. Content layer now. No.
I assume this is still going to be reasonably slow, but
Doesn't work.
cannot read properties of undefined reading lang. Gotta love it. Gotta love it.
Let's try with the hot plugin.
If we do that, then we can probably disable letting it
run a pretty code for a bit. And then we add Shiki. And they've got different themes, syntax. And then transformers. It's always annoying when options are like aliases and you just can't see the options.
Features. Yeah, they don't even enumerate.
Let's just see if it works. Content layer. Mm-hmm. Still got issues.
Looks like a lot of these are just TypeScript issues.
Yeah, type checking.
But at least it's running.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, you can see the Go routines running for like US build and all this garbage.
Yeah, so it looks like ES build will be parallelizing a lot of stuff already.
Well, unfortunately, we're running up against the amount of time that I have left for today.
Yeah. Don't really know if there's a next step here.
Yeah, I think the options are basically like if you use, we could try running this with, and like not the worker version. Like we could try removing workers and see if like that helps at all.
Yeah.
But if it doesn't, then I think that the answer is just like, Shiki 2/ is slow.
Yeah, sure. Workers. So the next time we remove workers and see what happens.
Yep. Cool. Well, thank you everybody for coming and watching. Next time we'll try to tear out workers and see if that improves performance, and if it doesn't, then we know it was just an issue with / So cheers, everyone. Thank you very much.
Yeah.